This man controlled 90% of America's oil, and when the government shattered his empire to stop him, he actually became richer. This is the story of John D. Rockefeller, the most hated businessman who became the world's first billionaire. July 8, 1839, Richford, New York. A baby was born into poverty. His name was John Davison Rockefeller. His mother, Eliza, was pious, devoted, a devout Baptist who believed in honesty, hard work, and God. His father, William, he believed in none of those things. William Avery Rockefeller, known to locals as Devil Bill, was a phantom, a con artist. He masqueraded as a traveling salesman to mask a darker reality. Papa, where do you go when you leave? Business, son. Important business. That business was cruelty itself. Bill sold colored water as cancer cures to the dying. He posed as a deaf-mute beggar to eavesdrop on farmers, only to use their secrets to swindle them later. He didn't just want their money. He wanted to watch them lose everything, and he treated his own family the same way. I cheat my boys every chance I get. I want to make them sharp. One day, Devil Bill placed young John on a high chair. Jump, son, I'll catch you. The boy jumped. The father stepped back. John crashed into the floorboards. Remember, never trust anyone completely, not even me. That was John's entire education. Trust is weakness. The world is a battlefield, and if you're not the predator, you're the prey. By 1849, Devil Bill took his philosophy to its logical extreme. After being accused of sexual assault and facing mounting scrutiny, he fled to Canada and vanished completely. He took a new name, Dr. William Livingston, married a second woman while still married to Eliza, and lived a double life for 50 years. He abandoned his family, left them penniless, and John never forgot. At 16-year-old, he became the man of the house, quiet, intense, obsessed with the one thing that never lied, numbers. He enrolled in a 3-month bookkeeping course. Then, he landed a job as an assistant bookkeeper, earning 50 cents a day. He was meticulous to the point of neurosis, recording every single penny he made or spent in a small red book he called Ledger A. By age 20, he'd saved $800 through pure austerity. But to enter the world of real business, he needed more. So he did something that probably killed him inside. He asked his father for money. Devil Bill agreed to lend him $1,000. But true to form, he charged his own son 10% interest and warned him he might demand it back at any moment, just to keep you sharp. John didn't argue. He took the money and formed a partnership with an older, more established man named Morris Clark. They started as produce merchants, selling beans, pork, and oats. It was safe and steady. Then 1859 happened, the Pennsylvania oil strike. The world was suddenly drowning in black gold, and Cleveland became refinery central. John, this oil business is chaos. It's a gamble. People will always need to eat, so let's stick with what we got. No, you don't understand. People will always need to see in the dark. Oil is the light. Against Clark's judgment, they took on a brilliant chemist named Samuel Andrews and built a refinery. But the tension between the partners grew like a cancer. Rockefeller wanted to borrow aggressively to expand. Clark, terrified of debt, tried to rein him in. By 1865, the partnership reached a breaking point. They couldn't agree on the future, so they decided to dissolve the company. The refinery would go to whichever partner could bid the highest at a private auction. It was a showdown. The bidding started at $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. Clark's face grew pale, but he couldn't imagine a 25-year-old having the stomach or the capital to go higher. He decided to end it. $50,000, John. Walk away. The room went dead silent. Clark was already reaching for his coat, certain he'd just won. Until $72,500. The smirk vanished. Clark realized then that John would bid until he was bankrupt or dead. He threw up his hands. I'm done. The business is yours. John D. Rockefeller had won. He shook Clark's hand, walked out of the room, and later said, "That was the day that determined my career." Now, John was the master. He renamed the company Rockefeller and Andrews, and he began to apply the Ledger A mindset to the dirty world of oil. At the time, refining was incredibly wasteful. Most refiners only wanted kerosene for lamps. They would dump the waste, gasoline, naphtha, and tar, straight into the river. Rockefeller looked at that river and saw money disappearing. If we can't burn it, we sell it. Together with his partner, Rockefeller stopped the waste. Andrews found ways to turn that refinery sludge into lubricating oil and paraffin wax. He didn't stop there. He bought his own forests to make his own barrels, and even built his own kilns to dry the wood. By cutting out every middleman, he could sell his oil cheaper than anyone else and still make a profit. By age 30, the bookkeeper had done it. He owned the largest refinery in Cleveland, the oil capital of the world. Most men would have stopped there and enjoyed their fortune. But John didn't look at his success. He looked at his surroundings. As he stood over the smoky skyline, he saw hundreds of small, inefficient refineries competing for scraps. To Rockefeller, these weren't rivals to be respected. They were a mess that was ruining the industry. I will take these broken pieces and forge them into one, and I will be the one. January 10th, 1870. John D. Rockefeller, along with a handful of associates, officially incorporated the Standard Oil Company. He was building a machine designed to swallow every competitor in its path. To do it, he didn't look at the oil wells. He looked at the veins of the nation, the railroads. Railroads were in a death spiral, slashing rates to steal business from one another. Rockefeller smelled blood. He walked into the offices of the railroad kings and said, "Gentlemen, I can guarantee you 60 carloads of oil every single day, rain or shine." 60? That's more than the rest of the valley combined. Exactly. And in exchange, I want a secret partnership. This was the South Improvement Company, SIC. It was a shell company designed to act as a cartel between the biggest refiners and the railroads. It had 3 ruthless pillars. First, the rebate. Rockefeller got a massive discount on every barrel he shipped. Second, the spy network. The railroads gave John detailed reports on his rivals, where they were shipping, who they were selling to, and at what price. And the kill shot? The drawback. Every time a competitor shipped a barrel of oil, the railroad took a portion of their money and handed it directly to Rockefeller. It was brilliant. It was legal. He would invite a competitor to his office at 26 Broadway, 6th floor, calm as a deacon, and lay out a simple proposal. "You see the rates, friend. I am being paid for every barrel you ship. If you stay in the game, you will go bankrupt. Sell to me now for Standard Oil stock or cash, or you will be crushed. Your choice." In one particular negotiation, a refinery owner made the mistake of refusing the offer. Rockefeller stood up, walked to the window, and opened it wide. "Bill, come look at this view. 6 stories up. Beautiful, isn't it?" The wind was howling. He approached nervously. "You know, if a man were to slip here, fall out this window, all it would take is 6 seconds, and he would quickly become a name in the Cleveland obituaries.